Connecting with Dave Lester Payne, and The Evolution Drive Time, every Monday to Thursday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
A very special good afternoon, Antigua and Barbuda. It's a brand new work week. It's Monday. Today happens to be the 12th day of February 2018. We're in the Love Month. We're in Black History Month. It's just going to be a great month. Reminding you to pick up the Daily Observer for today. The headlines, not so nice. Stabbed to death, first homicide for 2018. And you can pick up a copy of it or the photographs of the folks involved right there. It's only $3, so pick up the Daily Observer. Let there be light. That's what you do. Today we have Vere the third. It's the third junior, right?
The third.
The third, just the third. Why I always link you with junior?
Well, technically, on our birth certificate, it's Papa Bird, Vere Bird. What we know is Vere Bird Junior. Myself, it's just Vere Conway Bird. There's no senior, junior, or third, technically.
Okay.
But just for differentiation.
Well, I just want to let the folks know that Vere will be with us, and at just about 2:45, Adelsa Sheridan will be in the house. And at 3 o'clock, we have Paddy the Griot, Simon M.M., and we're going to be looking at the history of Antigua and Barbuda as it pertains to black history. Mr. Vere Bird, the third.
The third.
Chairman of the True Labour Party. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm
Happy New Year.
I'm rested and revived. I just came back from my vacation, so I'm ready to.
That's a long vacation, man.
Yeah, I
haven't seen you for a long
You see, when you're a soldier on the front lines, you can't be on the front lines all the time. You have to go for a furlough, rest up, and then I'm back out on the front lines now.
Vere Bird, it happened to you the last election.
What's that?
You announced a list of candidates.
Right.
And by the time the election came around, they were non-existent.
Well, I wouldn't say non-existent. We went from 12 looking for 5 more to make the 17, and then we were 5 looking to 12. But we ran
you
5
candidates. Looking for 12.
Yeah, that's how it turned around after they promised them money and big position, and some of them started to buckle.
You assume they
No,
knew
we were told. We were told.
But everything someone tell you is not the truth.
Well, I mean, that is what the potential candidates told us, and that is what we learned.
Okay.
Even after some of them didn't just buckle, they got nervous, they got scared. You know, that's politics. That's nothing new. That's the way it is.
The next election,
yes,
that we have coming.
Yes.
How many candidates do you have?
I believe we have 3 at this point. We're expecting about 6. At the time, but I would just say who is definitely. Charlene and myself will be running.
She's the
political leader of the party.
Leader.
Charlene Warner Samuel and myself, definitely. There's a potential for the others to come aboard, but as I'm saying, we never formed this party just to go and get to 17, and that's the end of the goal. We always were more about quality over quantity. In addition to that, we are more social programs-based political organization, and we're trying to get our community center off the ground. Last year, we had one of two of the worst hurricanes that hit the Caribbean, and we have mentioned on your program that we have our community center, which is going to double as a hurricane shelter in Lower Otters. So we have an option to go out and look candidates to go and contest in the next general election, or should we focus our energies on building a community center? We chose the latter, not the former. Me personally, as a chairman, the last time I went to look for a candidate was probably a year and a half ago. That is not my main concern. What you do, you work with what you have. And this is based just on the experience we've had from the last election. There were 12 people in the room. Sometimes the room is filled. You can hardly get a chair. And they're all vying to get in and to get on the podium to talk about all the evils that are happening in Antigua and Barbuda. But then, you're human beings. Some get offered money. Some get offered big positions. Some just are genuine cowards, and they buckle. So knowing from that experience in the past, I'm not hedging my best just to get to 17. Let's work what we have, but at the end of the day, God willing, we'll have a community center in St. John's Rural South, and that is the plan for the True Labour Party in all of the constituencies. We want to have a community center that the party will be operating and assisting people in their daily lives. And I believe that is more important than having a branch in the constituency 1 year before the election, and then after the election, the branch closed down. You understand? So that is where our mindset in. It was based on what we saw in the Black Panthers, not the Black Panthers, the revolutionary guys that by any means necessary.
Leave the Black Panthers.
No. But the Black Panthers had their social policies, the educating the children, their food programs, their after-school programs. were some of the best. That's why the Black Panthers went from nothing to being such a force to be reckoned with at one point in time.
I thought you were going to say something negative about them. That's why I'm telling you to leave them alone.
What are you talking about? They had afros. What more you can do? You can't go wrong if a man has an afro.
I had afro too.
I don't doubt it, man. I know that's where you're going. You're probably one of them.
Well, I don't mind taking credit for one of them, but living in North America, you had to be strong.
You had to be strong.
When we look at what's happening on the landscape of Antigua and Barbuda,
yes,
and we hear about true labor,
yes,
it seems like all the focus is on one constituency.
Yes, it seems so, because I have just been vocal and I have been really out there all the time beating the pavement. I can say that I've never really stopped campaigning since the last election. I remember it was the 12th of June 2014, and I do remember sometime August on Prince Charles Street in about where the Dickinson used to live, at the top there.
Which street is that?
Tyndall Road,
yes,
and then you make the right. Remember they used to live at the top there? I remember going down there, and boy, some of the people back before they would give me some what, but they said, but where the representative I vote for? I said, well, next time you know what to do better. I've been around here about 3-4 times since the election. Right? That is the part I like best of the campaign, to go to house. The part I like least is when you counting the votes in the night. I mean, the last time around, I fell asleep.
Well, but I guess because you were not successful.
You're right about that. There's nothing to stay awake for.
I guess that's the least that you would think. But when we look at this Caribbean, this rock of ours, and Antigua and Barbuda is part of that, there's something that's not going right.
Yes.
And people point fingers at politicians.
Yes.
And sometimes I think that's wrong.
I agree
because we allowed the politicians to do what they're doing.
That's so true. Yes, I agree.
Now, you, of course, everybody knows you're a politician. There's no way not to get around it. Mm-hmm. But as Vere Bird III, why was it so important that you had to leave the Antigua Labour Party?
Well, to go and rehash the whole story.
Well, we don't have to rehash.
I don't want to rehash it. Yeah, I'll explain it as lucid and concise as I can possibly do. The situation is that I saw wrong, and several others, Charlene herself saw wrong, Dalsonius saw wrong in the organization, the whole way they went about selecting candidates, or what the Constitution says is supposed to be elected, but what is in fact taking place is a selection process. And what I said, that I left Antigua when I was 11 years old in 1983. And I remember my grandfather, my father, my uncles and them. And it was an electoral process. And it was down to the branches. And the Labour Party is really a grassroots organization, which is branch up, not central executive for 46 North Street down, imposing their will on the people. And that is one of the problems I saw. You see Lester Bird forced to resign now, or thrown under the bus. He claims he retired, but he's thrown under the bus.
It's Sir Lester Bird.
That's what I said. Sir Lester was thrown under the bus, right? And then after he goes and resigns or retires, right? But what I'm saying is that the whole process is that this is a man who has been in politics for over 40 years, and he has left the Antigua Labour Party less democratic and more corrupt than before. That is the legacy of these 76ers.
Let me pose this question to you, because I'm going to get the truth.
So that is why, to sum it up, I don't want to be a part of that. I just saw wrong, and I just talk about it. They don't have anything for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not dependent on them to find work. They don't have any. I left Antigua when I was 11 years old. Yeah, they don't have anything on me. Vere, we gave him this peppercorn price land or something like that. So I speak my mind.
Now, by speaking your mind,
yes,
there's lots of folks within the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party that speaks their mind, and things don't go their way, but they still stay together as a unit. What made you so different?
They stay together as a unit because they see they're going to benefit in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a job or some handout. That is what they're sticking around. That
you don't think they stick around for the benefit of Antigua and Barbuda?
For the benefit, and you see any benefit
in Antigua and Barbuda? I'm asking you.
I hope to be the representative of the people in St. John's Road South, Dave. And that is a constituency that party politics has left behind. Because since party politics started in that constituency, it was Jeffrey Scotland that won it in 71 for the PLM. 1976, my father won it by just votes in the teens. He just edged through Jeffrey Scotland again. right? And he had it for 28 years. And in 2004, there's Winston Williams got it for 5 terms. Then Chico Lake now is 9 years. In that constitution, because of party politics, and you say, oh, it doesn't matter who the individual is, it doesn't matter, you can put a dog in there, it's the party we vote for. But what has party politics benefited those people in that constituency? There's no health center, there's no community center, there's no hurricane shelter, there's no fire station, there's no police station or sub-police station in that constituency to benefit the lives of those people in any shape or form. So when you go and you vote for your party, what have they benefited from in that constituency? I mentioned to you just before you got here about the community center that Winston Williams and the United Progressive Party was supposed to be building in Golden Grove, not Grove.
You and I spoke about that.
We spoke to that on the last occasion, but we didn't get into detail. And I am concerned because in April, me and my campaign management, we went in to the community center. We saw
April of last year.
Yes, and we saw a panty on the floor in the community center. Or what is the structure? It's not complete. It's just a hall. It's just without windows or doors. It fell apart. It was part of the fencing scandal. We saw a panty in there. When we started, people, they said, yes, people are having sex. Little boys and girls are having sex in this building. We went back again sometime in September, and we saw it was used as a latrine. People were defecating in there. I have spoken to Central Board of Health about it. I wrote a letter to Mr. Michael around that same time, too. Address this issue. It needs to be cleaned up. It's unhealthy because what happened, there's a karate class going on in one of the opposite rooms.
In the same building?
In the same building. The Clipsonian Faithfully has a karate kung fu class. Young kids are going in there and practicing their kung fu or whatever. So I said, well, this is germs over here. I mean, it's bacteria, it's microbials. It can get over there and give them an irritation or skin rash and infect them. So I did write a letter to CBH, and I don't know what's really happening. They said they went to the place and they didn't see too much filth in there.
Did someone clean it up?
No, it was the same. I went there just up to Saturday, and it was the same situation I saw.
This Saturday?
So
the photos that you sent me today,
yes,
is from what was there, what you've seen
when I saw it.
Saturday?
No, when I went there initially, and what I sent you was the video. Because I have the video. I even sent it to the lady at CBH that I spoke to, because she's telling me that she's going to have to speak to her boss now. I'm saying, so what is it? Is it sanitary or is it unsanitary? Because you're telling me that you went there and you didn't see the same condition. Well, I didn't just say it was filthy and what was there. I sent pictures attached to the letter. In addition to that, at the same time I sent you the video, I WhatsApped the video also to show what is there, what I saw. And even if it's not there, it's been so many months now. The last time I spoke to her before I left in December, she told me that solid waste, they're going to contact solid waste to clean up the room. So I don't know.
Is it just one room or the...
It is one room. Overall, it's a dirty building, right? But that one room is just ridiculous.
We got to take a break.
January specials from Ace Enterprises Limited. 100% financing available. Free gas, insurance, plates, registration, and licensing. Terms and conditions apply. Ace Enterprises Limited. Distributors of Mitsubishi, Mazda, SsangYong, and Jeep. Call us at 268-462-1289.
This is Observer Radio.
Stay locked to Connecting with Dave Lester Payne, right here on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
So that specific building is of concern to you, and it should be to anyone.
It should be to anyone in the area.
If the building is unhealthy, but that's one building in an entire constituency.
Yes.
You know, what is it about the constituency itself that you're not pleased with? Because that's just one building.
There's so many roads in that constituency that it is terrible. There's that road that you're going down, the Jim Daddy Road, leading in the Golden Grove extension, going down to the Baptist Church. That has been like that for almost 15 years. It's like the moon surface. It's just unbelievable that the representative is the Minister of Public Works. And this letter that I sent to CBH, I carbon copied it to Eustace Tico Lake also. You know, it's not like I just sent it out to CBH alone. He is the minister responsible for that community.
Why you didn't send it to the Minister of Health?
Well, I didn't send it to the Minister of Health yet. If he wants one, I can get one to him.
I don't know if he wants one. It's the things that bother in you and that you think are affecting the community. And when it comes to health, if he's the health minister, if he's not au fait to these things, you need to bring him up to speed.
He will get one by tomorrow. But I thought that the minister responsible for the constituency and the central board...
He has been unwell.
He's been unwell since he started his political career. It's not no Antigua Lake is sick.
Well,
he came to Antigua as a sick person.
I don't know.
And the problem in St. John's Rural South is that they are looking somebody to assist them or that needs assistance. He needs assistance himself. How is he going to assist you?
Okay.
Antigua Lake has always been here.
So how are you going to assist you're running, and let's say that you have 6 candidates in the race. 6 candidates cannot form a government.
Yes. That is true.
So
that is the mathematics, correct.
So what do we do from here?
It's about representation. It's not about proper representation in St. John's Rural South and most of these constituencies. They don't have any representation. As I said, this gentleman, the representative who is over public works. The worst roads that I've seen in St. John's Rural South are actually not even in Golden Grove or not Golden Grove Extension. The worst roads are in Radio Range. I've seen holes where this Syrian lady, she has to have that a wooden structure built so she can get over the puddles to get into her house.
What I want to know is how would you, as a candidate, and knowing you, because you can be very forceful, but you're elected, and you're an opposition member because you don't have enough candidates to form a government.
Yes.
How do you get these things done?
How do you get these things done? People will say that, you don't have a full slate, right? But as I just said to you, they've played their party politics for how many years that parties have been in existence since the late 1960s. And I'm saying from 1971, Geoffrey Scotland forward, these people have gone to the polls electing their parties into office. They don't have a community center. We are building a community center down there. They don't have a hurricane shelter. We want our building to be approved by NODS to be a hurricane shelter. What happened in September? Hurricane season starts in June. And we're trying to get something up at least the ground floor so that the people have somewhere, an option, in case the worst happens. You know what happened? It reminds you biblical. You remember the story of the flood? There's a man named, what you name now? The one with the ark.
Noah.
Noah out there and he building the ark.
Come
the man, just work with me, man. Work with me.
No, I want
the man named Noah saying, there's a flood coming, I building the ark, and everybody else said, kick, Noah building the ark. Well, you see any rain coming? When the rain came, the flood came, all the people outside rushing to get in the ark. You understand? So that's the way we're looking at it. Everybody playing their politics now to go and get into office to be the ones to rescue the country all of a sudden now.
What would your contribution be if you're elected?
What my contribution be if I'm not elected and when I'm elected? Either way, we're building a community center. We're planning to have a place that people can seek refuge if the worst comes that can save life and limb. That is what we are contributing, win, lose, or draw to St. John's Rural South.
Okay, but your intention is to change the landscape of politics in Antigua and Barbuda.
For the better.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
How does Vere Bird III plan to do this if he's an elected opposition member?
If you're elected opposition member, if I'm the only one, or if 2 or 3 or 4 or 8, I'm saying, or even 8, because you can't form the government as yet. Even 8 of us, if it's that much, right? We can form the people what we plan to do in these constituencies to better their lives, whether we in opposition, whether we form government or not. I believe a lot of the electors are playing the numbers game. And then you have to get at least 9 candidates. If you get 9 candidates, then you can form government. But that is what I'm telling you, Dave. In rural South, most of these constituencies, they have formed governments. What do they have to show for it? It's not the individual, We're talking about the party that they voted for, the government that they formed.
And my question to you, Vere, is, so they have not performed.
Right.
28 years your dad was there.
Right.
And you name the slates of members.
Well, we're not talking about the individuals, we're talking about the parties. Because you're one of 17.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The electors in Antigua and Barbuda need substance.
Right.
They need to have a reason to vote for you.
Correct, and that's what we're here talking about.
But then I need these things answered. So you now, as a candidate, are telling these folks, elect me, irrespective you form the government or not.
Yes.
What is it that you plan to do for them?
And I told you, Dave, whether I win or lose.
You're building what? The community center?
We are building a community center.
Yeah.
The projects that we have planned, even in opposition, will benefit those lives of the people in that constituency more than the elected officials. We are talking about an after-school program from 2 to 6. 4 additional hours that your children will be in a safe environment. That is something where the constituency have a lot of single mothers. And they have to find work when they can get it. You know, it's a constituency where people are not partly well educated. There are a lot of people who are working class. When you find work, you take it. Some of these hours interfere with the ordinary hours from 8 to 4 and so on. But we're saying for 4 additional hours, this small party can mind your children in there. The ground floor should be able to hold 150 to 200 people. It's a structure that is actually there since 2003, 2004. You know, my father was going to build a computer training center there. Unfortunately, before the election, his computers got burnt down in the building. And then the guys who were working it, we don't know what happened. There's a foundation there already and the septic tank there already. Our plans are a modification on an existing plan.
What do you have as a manifesto?
What do you have for a manifesto? Mm-hmm. Yes, well, we have worked on a manifesto. I did promise that I would mention our agricultural policy. Since our brother Larry Newton went down so badly on on his plans for agriculture, we already had our agriculture plans speaking to people since about May of last year. So that is what, if we have the time, I wanted to go into our manifesto. We are going to talk about our manifesto, our policies, way before 2 weeks before the election. And I have it right here. I'd like to say a few words. Do you think it's a good time? You want to go to the break? Or
no, we're good. You go right ahead.
All right, agricultural policy.
Our engineer will tell us when we break.
Okay, no problem. Here we go now. The agricultural policy for the True Labour Party. The unified purpose of the True Labour Party's agricultural policy is to increase farmers' income, the profitability of the industry. That is the main aim. Problems identified by farmers. A. Getting documents signed by the Minister of Agriculture for farming equipment, fertilizer, customs and excise taking too long. A mechanism needs to be put in place by the ministry to rapidly sign off on essential equipment and products imported by farmers. B. There is too much importing of produce that can be provided on island. There needs to be more coordination to the... Let me lower the mic. There needs to be more coordination in the agriculture industry between the government, CMC, ADC, hotel sector, and farmers. This would allow for consensus on what Antigua and Barbuda needs to be imported if the market cannot provide. Water is an issue for farmers on the island, which suffers from drought and the mismanagement of this essential resource. We will put officials from APUA, farmers, and the Ministry of Agriculture together to form a think tank to improve the issue. A. The True Labour Party will make it a national project to clean Pottsworks Dam, make it 5 to 10 feet deeper and have it covered with plastic and or clay to prevent leakage. We will seek international technical assistance and funding for this endeavour. I will stop now to let you be aware that we did our research and the government of Israel for over 20 years has offered to provide the plastic, the sort of special plastic to cover Pottsworks Dam. But you see, in Antigua and Barbuda, that's not a sexy project. Our ministers of government want to go up to Barnacle Point and talk about the launch of YIDA and put on their $1 million Italian suits. And that is something they gear to. That's something nice and clean. Putting plastic at the bottom of a dam is not something that looks good on TV, but it's a necessity for a water supply. But they have offered the type of plastic that is needed for several administrations in the past, but nobody has taken on the offer. That is some of the research we've done. We want to utilize international technical assistance so that Pottsworks Dam doesn't leak. It's going to be plastic or it's going to be clay, special type of clay to keep it from leaking. Because we had such big hurricanes and all that rain coming, Pottsworks Dam is still not full.
So I pose this question again to
Certainly.
you. Numbers matters as far as politics is concerned in these islands.
Right.
Those proposals that you have is if you are the government.
If you are the government. Right.
So, as a member, elected member of parliament, how do you get these things done if you don't form the government?
Well, you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, Dave. I can't go and tell people. I cannot go and tell the people, elect me, but I don't have no plans. And this is what the plan. So let me just continue and finish off where I started. So that is it. The plastic we reached to. Bam, bam, bam. It will be a national priority to safeguard our food supply during the hurricane season. Antigua and Barbuda should never be dependent on other nations to provide essential food produce in order to prevent food scarcity and hunger. It will be a national project under a true Labour administration to build tunnels and green farms to protect crops from heavy rain and wind, which will give us local produce year-round. B. We will conduct a study to verify where water is most in abundance and easily accessible from our hills and mountain range and build dams and reservoirs for a 21st century water catchment network. Centralization of import permits and agriculture produce. One of the problems in the way government presently handles imports of agriculture is that too many government officials have the authority to grant import permits, with the left hand in government not knowing what the right hand is doing. This policy has led to the flooding of our local market with produce that the local farmers could produce. D. A true Labour Party administration will reduce the permission to import agriculture products to the Minister of Agriculture and possibly also the Minister of Trade. The reduction of officials having power to grant import permits will reduce our import bill and feed the nation a fresher, healthier homegrown product. E. We will tax foreign agriculture produce if we have sufficient supplies in Antigua and Barbuda. F. A true Labour government will increase the amount of extension officers from the ministry, as there are not presently sufficient numbers of officers to assist the amount of farmers. It is our belief that extension officers will play a pivotal role in assisting the farmers in marketing their produce. A true Labour Party administration will increase the number of field officers and give them increased authority in order to improve the essential work conducted by consumer price controls to protect consumers and our local farmers. The supermarkets are making too much profit on the labours of our local farmers. And finally, the National School Meal Program is a good program that we will strengthen and expand. The policies and ideas expressed above will assist to feed the less fortunate children in the public schools, create more job opportunities, and give farmers increased work and more profit to continue producing the food essential to nourish and feed future generations of Antiguans and Barbudans. And that is it in a nutshell. There's another policy that we had where we wanted to have an apprenticeship program from the Ministry of Agriculture. We feel that if you become a farmer, right, that you don't have to sign on to the apprenticeship program. But if you go to the apprenticeship program, it will be teaching you, well, you'll be socializing with other farmers, and it will be teaching you the latest farming techniques, aquaponics and so on. Because what one of the farmers told me, it's a thing that you don't just buy the equipment and you just set it up. It takes a lot of research, and you have to fine tune it with the computers and all of that. So you probably have to scratch your head. It's a lot of technical side to it. We want the new young bloods to start off with getting this knowledge in their heads, and they can take it further. But in addition to that, what we see is that as a new farmer, the advantage of joining the program is that we want to give them a year or two tax exempt on all of their produce that they want to import in.
We got to take a break.
Okay, no problem.
Over the years, you've worked hard. You made endless sacrifices and given of yourself. Well, it's about time someone gives back to you. That's why the Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank is pleased to give you the ECAB Silver Rewards. If you're 60 years or older, ECAB proudly offers you preferential interest rates, discounted fees, and convenience with its Silver Rewards. So visit or call us at 480-6187 and ask about our ECAB Silver Rewards. Go ahead, you know you've earned it, and ECAB knows you deserve it. Remember, ECAB is our future, our bank.
The Cultural Development Division presents
Monday, February 12th, Village Life documentary on Barbuda at the Nurses Hostel at 7 p.m.
So come on out and participate.
Let's make Antigua History Month great.
Come Come experience cricket action like you have never seen it before at the Super 50 Cricket Festival 2018. 23 matches at the Coolidge Cricket Ground and Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. 5 teams vie in Group B in an epic 50-over regional battle. 3 nights of pulsating entertainment at the Festival Village Coolidge Cricket Ground and one big after party featuring Tian Winter and Claudette Peters. Get your tickets now at the ticket office and on the ticketing app. For more details, go to windiescricket.com. Come for the actions, stay for the vibes.
This is Observer Radio.
Stay locked to Connecting with Dave Lester Payne, right here on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
Vere III is with us this afternoon, and the True Labour Party that he's representing. And Vere just outlined the agricultural
policies. Some of them. That's not the complete manifesto.
That I just want to know, because 2 years ago, every time I spoke to you, I heard about cannabis.
Right. Well, that was part of our manifesto for 2014. It's part of our manifesto for this time around. We are not going to change our policies, but we're going to have to edit and update our manifesto, because we did have the last time around that we wanted to have a referendum to see if marijuana will be legal or not. With the failure of the CIP program, that is not bringing in the same amount of monies. With the whole failure of the YIDA project that was supposed to inject $200 million a year for 10 years. It's not about a referendum anymore. Our manifesto will be pushing the legalization of marijuana. It is very important to legalize marijuana at this point in time in our country, because we heard about them on the eve of election talking about marijuana is decriminalized. But my concern for decriminalizing marijuana, I feel happy for the Rastafarians and those who want to use marijuana. They're not going to be stigmatized and be beaten and oppressed like they have been in the past, right? But at the end of the day, you're still... The drug dealer is still a criminal. So it's just decriminalizing the users. But the act itself is still a criminal act to have drugs imported and being sold in Antigua and Barbuda. To me personally, you are benefiting the drug dealer, because they're making more profits. Before in the past, somebody might say, well, a young person might say, well, I'm going to college. I can't afford to go get caught up with any ganja in my pocket. And I'm going to university and I can't go tied up in the legal system and I have to go and adjourn my case for 3 years and then miss out a year or two of college, right? But no, there's no criminal stigma to it. You're not going to face any jail time. So therefore, who is benefiting overall? At the end of the day, it's not so much the Rastafarians. They're going to smoke it no matter what. But the drug dealer is the one. The government has set it up so that the illegal trade is going to be better off. There's going to be a boom in the illegal trade of marijuana. We want to legalize it and get away from all of that. And in addition to that, we're talking about we are in a deep, in the red with the deficit with our budget, right? That we have so many millions of dollars that are owed. Are these criminals, these drug dealers, paying any taxes? Are they paying their education levy? Are they paying their social security? No. It's not being paid. If you legalize it, then what we call the illegal drug trade is legal. And they will be paying their contributions, will be filling the treasury with this money, with this industry. Right now, one of the biggest industries in Antigua, the marijuana industry, is not being taxed. Why is that? But you're saying no, a Rastaman can smoke a 10 gram reefer.
And move up to 50.
Or 15 or whatever. That is just inconsequential. It needs to be legalized. So what we had in our manifesto was that the growers, they will have a license. Just like you have a liquor license. You have to have a license to grow it. You have a license to sell it. If you don't have a license, the same laws apply. It's an illegal act. We had it that it will be set up, that it will be part of like a statutory body, that they will regulate it. And all the plants and so on will be tagged, so we know. We don't want any shipments from Jamaica or St. Vincent into Antigua. That is still illegal transshipment into Antigua, right? Because that is for the local people. That is for the Antiguans to make their living, right?
As an attorney at law, you're saying that based on what is being debated now, because it should be in the Senate, I think, on Wednesday.
Yes.
You're saying that the folks who ply their trade are benefiting from it.
And a lot of the politicians are benefiting from it because they're the ones that have cornered the trade. You see a lot of these businessmen around the place.
Cornered what trade?
Wait, just let me finish it, Dave. You see
I can't just let you finish. Wait. This is my program. I can't let you finish. Wait a minute.
It is your program, but I was going to finish what I said.
Vere, you have a tendency to come with innuendos and let it fly.
Right.
My thing is, I am speaking about what is in Parliament.
Right.
And you said the drug dealers are benefiting because they're not paying tax, they're not paying this, because you don't know who they are.
Right.
But you're just telling me the reason why is that way that people are being cornered?
Politicians are benefiting from the illegal drug trade in Antigua and Barbuda. I am not calling it because I was looking over for your and observers' interest, Dave. That's why they said, let me finish and move on from there.
Okay.
Right? They are benefiting. Because what we heard last year was that 1 minute they're going to decriminalize it or they're going to legalize it. And then they said, no, we're not going to do it. What we heard on the grapevine is that a lot of the illegal drug paid people did not want it to be legalized because that would cut into their profits. A lot of these big businessmen in Antigua and Barbuda, you see their business, you don't see a lot of people going into their business, but they have these huge houses.
You're attorney at law, right?
They are laundering this money,
attorney at law, right?
the illegal drug industry money into their business. They're cleaning the money through their business. Right? That's where the money is going.
You're an attorney, right?
Correct.
What do you say about the budget?
What do I say about? We finished from drugs already. I
don't want to go there.
I know you don't want to go there.
No, I don't.
We moved off of that part of the legalized, decriminalized, whatever.
The only reason why I mention it because you were flagging it as part of your pet peeve for your project in agriculture when you become the next administration.
Correct.
Now they're saying that you can have it's in the Parliament and they're going to make certain. And you're saying, well, wait a minute, that's not how we planned it. I accept all that.
Okay, fine.
So we move on.
No, there's another part where the Prime Minister apologized to the Rastafarian community and said he apologized for the way the police treated them. A police officer is an agent of the crown. The police are not operating now. When they're beating and pushing in doors and brutalizing people, that is on the authority of the crown. If the crown did not support that act, then how many police officers have been behind bars for malicious damage, malicious prosecution, false imprisonment? The Prime Minister ought to have apologized for his government because on the 12th of June, beating up of Rastamen and people smoking drugs and the stigma attached to it did not come to an end. The 12th of June 2004 did not see an end to it. So when he's saying he's apologizing for the treatment by the police officers who are just an agent of the crown, it ought to be the crown that ought to apologize to the Rastafarian community. What he did was a half-ass apology. It's half-ass. He needs to apologize for his administration and previous administrations, the way they brutalized these people for smoking a plant. That is the way I see it. If I were a Rastaman or I was one he was trying to apologize for too, I wouldn't accept that apology. But everybody is different.
You're not a Rasta.
I'm not a Rasta yet.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Vere, boy, I tell you, you're rather colorful. So when you look at the budget in Antigua and Barbuda, because
I just want to add one thing. Our policy, in our manifesto policy, the Prime Minister did go on to say that they're going to think of ways to compensate the Rastafarian community for the years of brutality. Our policy in the True Labour Party is not to give them financial money up front. Take $2 million, $3 million, $10 million. And I've spoken to the Rastafarian community now. I'm good with them boys, I meet up with ICUP and Sagaifu and so on occasion.
Sagaifu is going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to tell you to tell me about you.
Yeah, I'm supposed to meet them on Saturday and all.
Oh, you're meeting
King George. Yeah, we have been in contact. I tell you.
Is it bend down?
No, not bend down this time. Down at King George V grounds.
Okay, yeah.
Right. What we wanted to say also is that we wanted to compensate the Rastafarians. We're giving them a license. When marijuana is legalized in Antigua and Barbuda, I believe the 7 tribes in Antigua and Barbuda should be given a license to grow and to sell marijuana. It's a situation where I believe instead of just giving them cold hard cash, we'll finish in a period of time. They have a market.
Somebody had promised them cold hard cash?
I believe that is where they're going with the compensate.
Oh, that's your belief.
Right.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that we're not giving them cash. We want them to have a license. We want to give them something that is generational, that is not just going to benefit this group of Rastafarians that are alive today, but future generations can be a part of the industry. A legal industry that can provide a lot of money to a community that has been pretty much on the fringes of society.
Within true labor, Vere.
Yes.
What is it that true labor will bring? Because this is agriculture. As you look overall at Antigua and Barbuda's development,
yes,
it's going to take more than agriculture. What are some of the things that you focus on?
Well, Dave, there's so much in our manifesto that we run. We have also an urban renewal policy. Mm-hmm. And listen, the way I see about it, right, it's better I talk about the manifesto now than to go and fool people and just give them something, throw something at them 2 weeks before the election. Nobody reads it then. Our urban renewal policy is something we feel that the government ought to help to find jobs for people, right? We have an idea. We want a Zero Galvanize policy for Antigua and Barbuda. Galvanize, it's ugly. It doesn't beautify the place. We say we are a tourism industry. People come into the harbor, they see all this shanty, all this galvanized. We want to have a Zero Galvanize policy. The way we look at it is the government should be providing works to replace the galvanized on all the houses in St. John's and gradually spread throughout the country.
You mean the house roof?
No, we're talking
the fence.
We're talking about the fence, the galvanized
I just
fences.
want you to because I was wondering.
Yeah. Number one, it will beautify St. John's. Mm-hmm. Number two, it will make the homeowner safer, a proper fence, right? Number three, it will provide work for the people. Now you have a simple, some guys in the past would talk about building 500 houses in 500 days and can only build 48. We're not going to go so outlandish and so pie in the sky. What we're saying, we're going to build a fence. You have a house, it's just the three sides of your house or so, and we're going to build just a simple mesh fence. But it's something that is affordable for the government that can start a program. They have the job programs. That is how I would find work for people. But it's mutually beneficial. I spoke to a guy who does scrap metal, right? And he was telling me, yes, galvanized can be crushed and we can export that for scrap metal. So we'll actually getting something back for something that is 20, 30, 40 years looking all rusty and so on.
It's ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly. Yeah. It does not beautify our country.
But you can profit from it.
But we can make something to even fund the whole process. The government should be able to employ people if they have a Zero Galvanized policy. And on the houses in St. John's, you see in Grace Farm, you see in Otters, you see in City West, all in Villa, in the Point, all these galvanized fences on people's house. It should be replaced, but you would find work for people. And it's not something that is too complicated. It's making a simple fence, a simple mesh fence onto people's house. It beautifies the country. It makes it safer for the homeowner. And you have a sense of pride. Your house is looking all spiffy. It hasn't been updated for a little while. And most of all, you're providing work for people. Government must provide work. You can't say you're providing work when you go build 500 houses and only got 48. Then the thing in that manifesto, the Labour Party's manifesto, that 500 house program was supposed to provide 2,500 jobs. People forgot about that. They're not even halfway near that. I don't even think 200 people got work out of that program. So that sort of foolishness, we're not going to promise you we're going to build no house. We're saying that we're going to build fences to beautify this country. We're going to build fences to safeguard the homeowners. We're going to build fences, a simple thing that people on the job so we can learn a skill and get work, put money in their pocket, feed their family, but it will be able to be mutually beneficial for Antigua and Barbuda.
How is true labor? You said you're not going to build any home, but we speak about the shanty town. Mm-hmm. Just getting fences can't help you. We take a break.
As you celebrate your special day, allow us to celebrate with you. Happy birthday from Observer Radio 91.1 FM. Health, money, marriage, culture. All these and more in our weekly discussions on Observer Radio's Biblical Perspectives, Monday evenings from 7 to 8:30 p.m.
For local, regional, and international news, features, sports, classified, and other advertisements, pick up a copy of the Daily Observer from Dee's Service Station, First Choice Supermarket, Jenny's, Gravy on Market Street, Larry's Service Station on Friars Hill Road, St. John's Pharmacy on St. Mary Street, the Best of Books Bookshop on St. Mary Street, Wheel Supermarket on Wireless Road, Chase Distributor on Factory Road, Midway Service Station, North Coast Hardware at Blue Waters and at the Village Walk Mall, Epicurean at Friars Hill Road, and Epicurean in Jolly Harbor. So pick up your copy of the Daily Observer today for only $3. Remember to tune in for the 5:30 p.m. news broadcast sponsored by Digicel, right here on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
This is Observer Radio.
Stay locked to Connecting with Dave Lester Payne, right here on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
It's an occasion sometimes you can't do anything but laugh. Laughter is good, you know.
It's good.
Vere, we look at Antigua and Barbuda because until I get Charlene here.
Yes.
Right? And Charlene is her position?
The leader.
The leader of the party.
Yes.
I need to get Charlene here.
We'll bring her in.
Okay.
It's just the school hours. I think you'll have to be around 3 on because she's teaching. She teaches at the Sunnyside School.
Okay.
So probably
but
3.
Since you came back.
Yes.
And your focus is on the name of the constituency?
St. John's Rural South. It goes all the way from Radio Range in the north to Creekside in the south, and from the Sousa Road on the western side to Kentish Road on the eastern side.
So it's a huge constituency.
And then down into Golden Grove Extension.
So it's a huge constituency.
It's a huge constituency. It's one of the largest, and they've successfully taken off pieces. Even Lipstick was part of my
Don't worry about
Lipstick.
Lipstick is not with us now. It's you and I.
No,
Lipstick is a guest.
Lipstick is always with me. I just want to say one thing, Dave. You remember the last occasion when I came in September, you told me that you heard the word on the grapevine that the Labour Party was supposed to be grooming me to be a candidate. What happened to the grooming?
I wouldn't know.
But me hear this grooming go on. I mean free no grooming.
No, but obviously you're a one-man band because you said you don't want to join with anybody.
We will speak to any political organization, not me personally with the Labour Party, because it's not about politics with me and corrupt Labour. It's about people I choose to socialize with. I don't socialize with people like that. So if they want to talk, I guess they'll have to speak to Charlene or Nedwell
to
or
get
Dayton to determine policy.
To get
I
you.
do not sit down with people like that.
Okay.
And it's not politics. I do not choose to socialize with people like that. Anybody else, UPP, DNA, I'm willing to talk to anybody. Right? Because, I mean, even when the UPP had their marches, we never told our supporters or even any of our executive members, do not go and march with them. When the former member Dalso was with us, he was out with the UPP marching with them and Kimberley and so on. So we never had a policy of, no, you can't go there. We speak to everybody.
Well, Vere, our time is coming down, but before you go, because I'm going to pose this, you've been campaigning in your area.
Yes, I'm going out campaigning later today.
You're going to campaign in your
Even
area.
in this weather.
Anybody, what weather?
Well, it look like it might rain and so on.
Oh, okay.
Catch me talk.
So you've been campaigning in other constituencies for the others?
I've helped out, yes.
Okay, good. Vere, I'm going to get an opportunity to speak to Charlene, and when I do, here's hoping that we can continue this discussion.
Definitely.
But of course, Vere Bird III.
We didn't get to the budget, you know.
No, we can't.
Yeah, but we're going to have to deal with that the next time.
You have a way to utilize some time to go in other areas that you think you should go in.
Definitely.
Well, have a great day, and here's hoping that you'll continue to spread the good word about Antigua and Barbuda and how we're going to help to continue to develop
and
this
the True
country.
Labour Party.
Well, that's your party,
Definitely.
True Labour Party. We take a break. When we come
Bye
back.
for now.